this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate everyone. All praises to Kali Ma. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. Don't forget to check out my website, paradoxastrology.com. I can help you with anything. And if you would like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video. We're going to talk about the full moon, which will be happening on November 27th, and what it will mean for the world and for you. We have the full moon, which will be happening in Taurus, and that will be also in the nakshatra of Rohini. Directly opposing that, we have Sun, which will be in Anuradha, and also Mars. So let's talk about it. Rohini's main symbol is the ox cart. It represents fertility, as the oxen is a symbol of this in many places around the world. The ox cart is also a symbol of transportation. The moon is actually the lord of the third house. Now, what happened recently, if you haven't heard about it, there was a crash at the border of the US and Canada. This is a perfect representation of this chart and of what happened. It is a perfect example. Remember, the energies are not exact. So sometimes it can happen a bit before the moon, or it can happen a bit after the moon. Now, the car, which is the third house of travel, was driving aggressively, which is Mars combust, through the border, throwing off the leaders, which is Sun, into a panic as they felt that the borders were no longer being protected, Anuradha. And the people, which is the moon, were feeling irritated by the third house reporting, which they said wasn't accurate. So that's just an example of how this chart has already played out and will continue to do so. This is the nakshatra of the wheels of commerce. All kinds of financial dealings are incorporated, are involved within this. All products and goods, all products from land especially. Some products may be out of stock due to Venus in detriment. Remember, the Lord of Taurus is Venus, and it will be in the 5th house in detriment. This could also have to do with agriculture as well. Stability, creativity, productivity, material security, luxury, indulgence, idealism in love, beauty, relationships. This is the essential qualities of Rohini. People will be chasing luxury goods and items at this time. All products on the material plane, even products that they don't need, probably in search for deals for the holiday season. There is a possibility that some may feel that they are taken advantage of by cosmetic companies. And this could bring some aggression based on environmental discussions as well. With Venus in Chitra, nakshatra in Virgo, and we have Ketu in Chitra in Libra, this can indicate some ego clashes in relationships and in business. This could also be due to Rohini's idealism in love. This is great for the matters of creating beautiful things, but caution is advised as Ketu creates illusions, and also having Venus in detriment. Chitra creates beautiful illusionary magic as well. Some may have conflicts to things not being as they seem. This could have to do with the war, the entertainment industry as well. This could be in terms of romantic relationships, the duties of children, schools, and teachers. This will be in the first pada, and the first pada is all about indulgence, extravagance. They want quick material results. It can also make someone somewhat of a spiritual warrior, fighting against the exploitation of the material plane. It combines spirituality with matter, with the material plane. This reminds me of what's going on already right now, like holy wars that are based on material acquisitions, and holidays, which are spiritualism mixed with materialism, like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Black Friday month. The professions this includes is farming, agriculturalists, anything to do with growing and processing, handling foods, herbalists, artists, musicians, fashion, cosmetic industry, beauticians, jewelers, interior decorators, bankers, financiers, product production, packaging, auto industry, petroleum industry, anything connected with liquids any liquids of all types. Now, the moon will be opposing, like I said, Mars, which can cause some to be very competitive within the markets, especially those involved in trade. A caution to some, as Mars is combust and can lead to impulsive action and create losses. Some will be successful if they're led by the higher mind, as the moon is the lord of the third house of trade within the country. But Rahu, this is actually the last day that Rahu, if we're looking at the true node, the last day that Rahu will be in Aries, and Jupiter is in Aries, which are in the 12th house. And this can be great for foreign dealings, import-export, spiritual businesses, and practices. Saturn in the 10th house is also aspecting this, which is helping to minimize losses, as they could be a lot worse. The lord of Taurus, as I said, is Venus, which is in the 5th house, in detriment. And the 5th house is gambling, it's speculations, it's the stock market, it's public investments. And it's conjunct by nakshatra, not by sign, but by nakshatra with Ketu. This can signify losses for many as well. It depends on your chart. The lord of the 5th house is in the 8th house in Mula, showing us that deep research will be needed in these areas in order to gain. The 8th house, as it rules public debt, foreign debt, stock markets, and a risk to people through war and natural disasters. Stocks to do with the vaccines and the medical community may take a hit. Some secret information may come out. Irritation within the home and within our inner emotions may come up because we want to get something done faster than it can be accomplished. So there's a sense of being impatient. And some may be impatient with their partner, or their partner may be a bit impatient with them. This is also due to Venus in detriment. But the love will come back again. Just wait 3 more days when Venus transits into Libra, and it will feel much better. And also Ketu will be transiting into Virgo. The day of the 28th, the 29th, events in those areas will definitely happen as they switch signs. So it's almost like they see each other. They're kind of like this, and they see each other. And I think of it as they hold hands like this, and then they switch signs. So that's kind of exactly what happens. And once they conjunct exactly, this could bring out, there could be losses in businesses, in relationships as well, or this could signal people meeting each other from past lives. So there's many different ways that can go about, but I thought it was kind of a very beautiful dance that they do. Now, the symbol for Anuradha is the staff. It's for power, it's for protection. Here we have Mars combust, which is also the lord of the 12th house, which is indicating losses due to lack of protection. Mars cannot protect the king like it usually does. Its power is overshadowed by its own sign. It becomes aggressive. It acts without thinking. It gets explosive. It can cause health issues as well, hospitalizations, and also incarcerations. So this will greatly affect the war, international affairs, crime, litigation, foreign trade, marriages, divorces, social gatherings. We won't really see a break until Mars goes into Sagittarius. And even then, that's not for too long. This can also affect the homeland. The weather may be very fierce and can cause fatalities, such as earthquakes, volcanoes, mining disasters, volcano eruptions. Crops can be affected, as well as real estate. There can be a lot of opposition to the governments, and this can actually become violent. I think we're already seeing that in a lot of parts around the world. Now, there's a story that has to do with this nakshatra where Vishwamitra challenges sage Vashita, where all of Vishwamitra's weapons, including Brahmastra, which is similar to a nuclear missile, were useless against the sage's staff. And the staff is only used for self-defense. And the self-defense may be compromised at this time due to Mars being combust and also in a Saturn-ruled nakshatra. I bring that story up because of what we have going on with the war, having this nuclear missile, which is something that they are using. They're using missiles, not nuclear, but they're using missiles. So things may come to a head, and I'll talk more about Israel and Palestine at the end. This nakshatra is a triumph gateway adorned with leaves as a symbol. It's another alternative meaning of the nakshatra. It represents victory, but this so-called victory may come at the expense of many lives. This can be also rebellious against society's norms. So this could either be the people rebelling against the government or what we see in the wars as well. Courage may come to those who are after their desires. Make sure that it's not an egotistical desire. That could lead you down the wrong path. This nakshatra is also a representation of enemies coming together for a common goal. Shawtee and hidden knowledge are a part of this nakshatra. It seems that some of this knowledge may come out and anger some. So the aggravation may come through these types of professions that have to do with hypnosis, psychic mediums, occultists, astrologers, night duty professions. So if you work at night, maybe you're a security guard or something to that effect, maybe just be on the lookout for people trying to test you in a certain way that you may have to protect yourself. Photographers, cinema-related professions should be cautious. Musicians, artists, managers, anybody in the entertainment industry, just because of the Venus and the detriment in the 5th house. Psychologists, scientists, mathematicians, explorers, miners. We saw there was a mining accident in India. Maybe we'll get to hear more about that, but I'll talk more about India as well. Factory workers, diplomats, all professions connected with foreign countries. Travel, foreigners, all professions require group activity. There could be some frustration involved in there. Now, India, this will be in its 1st house, in its ascendant, and it will conjunct Rahu by sign. This can indicate earthquakes, sudden events, and violence. It is very close to the exact ascendant. Mars will be 2 degrees and Sun will be 3 degrees from its Ketu in the 7th house. And this can indicate war, violence, sudden events, accidents, fire. This can affect the country as a whole, public enemies, crimes, international and foreign affairs or disputes, the social consciousness of the people. For Israel, this will be in the 9th house, conjunct Mercury, which is the ruler of the 10th and the 1st house, and also the Sun, which is the ruler of the 12th house. This will affect the reputation of the country and its leader, the government. This can include losses or fatalities, directly affecting the country as a whole. This is due to foreign affairs, international law, United Nations, foreign policies, and religious faith and war. United States, this will be in its 6th house. This can involve an accumulation of the events of war, conflict, labor unions, strikes, the health industry, national food supply and drugstores, and the working class. Canada, this will be in the 2nd house conjunct natal Venus, the lord of the 7th house. This can be a completion in the areas of finance, national wealth, and debt, taxes, interest rate, stock exchanges, and war, international disputes, foreign policies, and trade relations with other countries. Palestine. This will conjunct its natal Jupiter, which is the lord of the 5th and the 8th house. This will directly affect the country and its reputation, the homeland, children, crimes related to immoral acts, and risk due to war. This could also involve being the 5th house, staged events for entertainment. I think everyone knows what I mean when I say that. So just be cautious of what you hear on the news. We're going through a time right now where there will be less integrity with the news, with the position of Saturn. This always happens when it's in this nakshatra. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.